Welcome to the Mobile Cyclist, the show that brings you the best of bicycling's people, places, and things. I'm your host, Anthony Barr. Back home again in Indiana. Indianapolis, that is. I'm taking you on an urban cycling adventure, Indy style. I'll check out one of the coolest greenways in the country, the Indy Cultural Trail. Ride along with bicycling advocacy group, IndyCOG, then party with lots of cyclists at King Brewing Company. I'll check out Veloworks Urban Cyclery, and then finish up by taking a swing with the Indianapolis Bike Polo Club. Coming up on the Mobile Cyclist. Carr and Haley told me the story on the widely popular Indy Cultural Trail.
So Karin, when they first put the idea together for this cultural trail, what were they wanting to achieve?
The initial goal was to connect the downtown cultural districts, but there was no way to get in between those districts. There was no way to connect from the core of downtown to our great neighborhood institutions. The cultural trail solved that problem, and they decided to do it the best, boldest, most innovative urban trail in the world.
It's very unique, it's gotten national attention. What is unique about this trail system?
The city of Indianapolis decided to give up a lane of vehicle traffic back to pedestrians and back to cyclists. But the trail is also beautiful. There's art, there's gardens, there's new people, new experiences, every block you're on, every corner you turn.
The Cultural Trail totals 8 miles, and you can get to multiple districts or neighborhoods in and around downtown Indianapolis.
So you follow the red brick pavers and our stick lights and you'll be on the Cultural Trail the whole way. Well, the Mass Ave Cultural District is one of the most established and it's been around the longest. Fountain Square is probably the newest up-and-coming cultural district. And then, of course, White River State Park and the White River Cultural District. It's one of the gems in Indianapolis. We have a major state park right in the heart of downtown.
And the trail gets equal love from both locals and out-of-towners.
Locals use it every day. From a visitor standpoint, it's the best way to see the city. The trail is your guiding path, and it really is the best way to experience downtown Indianapolis.
Coming to town, don't have your bike, what options do you have to get around the trail?
Well, 2 years ago, we launched the Indiana Pacers Bike Share program. So we have 27 stations all on or within a block of the Cultural Trail. So the Bike Share program provides bikes for everyone to use, whether you're local or a resident.
In case you're wondering if this cultural trail was a good idea, listen to this.
I know we've had an increase in requests for bike racks from businesses that are on the trail. We've had lots of retail and restaurants pop up on the trail. We found that all properties on the trail or within a block of the trail have increased to the tune of $1 billion.
Karin, I really appreciate you showing me around today. Being from the city just really reinforces what a great amenity this is for Indianapolis. And for tourists to come through, great way for them to see the entire town. I'm gonna go jump on a Pacers Bike Share, give it a spin.
Great, have a good ride.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for coming.
Locals and visitors alike can see this town at just the right pace, rolling along the Indy Cultural Trail. Next, I joined Kevin Whited from IndyCOG for a spin around the canal in the White River State Park.
One of the things that makes cities nice to be in is a walking and biking culture. And by promoting bicycling, like in our case, we've got a lot more people riding bikes, which just makes it a lot more livable city.
So what are some of the more unique events that IndyCOG has helped put on in the city?
Actually, we've got a lot of really interesting events. We start with Bike to the Ballpark, which we partner with the local brewery, King. We do a party actually first at the brewery, and then we have an organized bike ride to the opening day of the Indians, which is a minor league team here in Indianapolis. Probably the other really unique ride we do is something called the Tweed Ride, and people literally dress up in turn-of-the-century garb.
Okay, this cultural trail is pretty hard to top. So what's next?
We in Indianapolis have a couple miles of this. It's called separated bike lanes. They're divided from the moving traffic by bollards or planters. Currently we have about 1.5 miles of that here, and I think we're getting ready to put in another 3 miles this summer.
Have you done some planning in other cities? You've ridden probably lots of different places as well. How does Indianapolis stack up?
One of the great things about Indianapolis is the amount of infrastructure that's gone in a short amount of time. In 8 years, basically, we've striped 100+ miles of bike lanes. We have separated bike lanes. We have the Cultural Trail, 60 miles, 70 miles of greenways. So it's really great in that respect.
With this amazing network of bike lanes and paths, IndyCOG came up with a super cool solution for cyclists to find their way.
So one of the things IndyCOG came up with a few years ago was something called the Indy Ride Guide. One, we wanted to make it very artistic and fun to look at. The other thing, we wanted to make it easy to read and very objective. These maps are found at all the bike shops in the city of Indianapolis, coffee shops around downtown, and different things like that. So not only can bicyclists in Indianapolis use the map or find the map, but also tourists as well.
All right, Kevin, this has been pretty awesome. You guys are doing great things. Keep on doing what you're doing.
Hey, thanks for interviewing me.
Hey, I'm ready to head over to Bike to Ballpark?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Hey folks, I'm in Indianapolis, Indiana. It's King Brewing Company. I'm about ready to go inside and talk to co-founders Clay and Dave about bikes, beer, and baseball. These folks know how to put on a serious bicycle bash. Let's go.
King has established itself as a major player in the local Indianapolis area, having the distinction as one of the first true breweries in over 60 years.
Indianapolis had probably a dozen or so brew pubs, but in order to have local beer, you had to go to one of those destinations. So really when we thought up Sun King, we decided that we would take the pub out of the brewery and that we would make beer that we could distribute to bars and restaurants and make local beer available. When we opened up in 2009, we were actually the first full-scale production brewery since the Indianapolis Brewing Company closed its doors in 1948.
Tasting room is open 7 days a week, various hours during the week. Get on your bike, come on down, have a pint on our lovely patio when the weather's beautiful like it is today, and then have a nice bike ride back.
These guys have won multiple competitions and have built a huge fan base from their core brands. But they also brew some really creative flavors from gently used hardware.
The most fun for us as brewers is to get out there and kind of flex our creative muscle. We do that with a lot of seasonal beers by taking some of this wonderful beer and aging it in various types of barrel, mostly bourbon barrels. If you age a spirit in it, we want that barrel to age some fun beers in.
People who cycle are very enthusiastic, not only about cycling, but about the other things that they love. And we work best and most with passionate groups throughout the community. So the cycle community's been great to embrace Sun King, and then the organizations that we work with are all part of making Indianapolis a better place to live, work, and play.
Case in point, today's Bike to Opening Day at the Indianapolis Indians ballpark. Clay and Dave shed light on how this event came together.
I'm a huge baseball fan, and we both like riding bikes. I looked at my partner Clay and I said, why don't we ride bikes to opening day? And he's like, okay, that sounds pretty cool. What if we, involve a few people, maybe like the mayor?
We just kind of threw it out there and put it together. We just met at the brewery, and the mayor came and spoke, and then we rode over, and every year it's just gotten bigger and better, and today is a Chamber of Commerce day with sunny skies and 60-some degrees, so we're winning.
You guys are, what, about 3 blocks from the Cultural Trail, the downtown main cycling section. How does that work with the two-wheel traffic as far as bringing people in?
It was really key for Dave and I both because we worked downtown to be downtown, because we wanted to be in an area where people could walk to us, people could bike to us, people could actually get out and get over and really enjoy what we have to offer, and we wanted to be part of the fabric of the city and something that makes Indianapolis a really great, cool, fun place to be.
It's clear that bikes are a welcome sight around Sun King. Fantastic events like Bike to Ballpark are proof. Just look at this crowd. It's time to head to the ballpark.
Folks, we're out of here on the way to the park. See you down there.
Sun King welcomes the cycling community with open arms, and Bike to Ballpark event is just one of many ways they connect with the citizens of Indianapolis. Next up, I'm heading down to the Fountain Square District, a slice of Indy that rolls at its own unique pace. I'm here to check out Veloworks Urban Cyclery.
Hey folks, I'm at Veloworks Urban Cyclery in the Fountain Square District of Indianapolis. Fountain Square's kind of got its own unique vibe, and so does this shop. They got a full-blown espresso bar, and they actually take bikes on consignment, which is kind of unique in the bike shop world. I'm about ready to go back and talk to Andre Phillips, owner-operator, learn a little bit more about this shop. Let's go. So Andre, where did you get the inspiration to start Veloworks?
As I was finishing my master's degree, an opportunity came up to open the store, and I've always been a mechanic and always wanted to as a dream. Fountain Square was starving for a bike shop, just jumped on it.
So Fountain Square does have kind of a unique vibe. What's it like to be located here?
It's a very artsy community, and lots of people using bikes for commuting, recreation. No day is the same here in Fountain Square.
Looking for a used bike? These guys have you covered.
We do a lot of bikes and a lot of equipment also. So bicycle parts, we've got bicycle racks, used parts, things like that on consignment. Most of my consignment customers are customers that didn't want to deal with Craigslist or eBay, and they just kind of want someone else to take the reins and get their bike sold for them.
If you're looking for a shiny new bike, he's got a few of those too.
So what are the primary brands that you offer here?
We do a selection of Raleigh bikes, Jamis bikes. Public bikes have been really popular, especially in this community. And we just brought on a new brand, Fairdale. We're really excited about those bikes, a lot of city bikes and really well-built, sturdy bikes.
But one particular little bike caught my eye.
A gentleman brought in this bike as a trade-in for a new bike. It's a folding bike, Italian made. I just couldn't turn it down. This is an example of the fun things that we get rolling through this shop.
Speaking of great Italian products, Andre serves his customers real Italian espresso coffee drinks and one special menu item.
Tell me a little bit about the Cubano.
I had a friend actually who switched me on to that, and it's basically just an espresso, but the sugar is brewed along with the espresso at the same time. So rather than sugar added later, the hot water is forced through the coffee beans. It adds some different flavors that you wouldn't normally get just mixing sugar into the espresso.
I like it. I'm ready to get on the bike.
With just the right balance of vintage and new bikes, Veloworks thrives as a true urban bike shop in cool and funky Fountain Square. It's polo time, not on horses, but rather bikes, of course. I'm getting a crash, literally, course on the sport of bicycle polo by the crew from the Indianapolis Bicycle Polo League. I met up with league member Neil Bennett to learn about this unique sport.
When did this start in Indianapolis, and how did actually bicycle polo get started?
Our club was founded in 2007. Hardcore bicycle polo was started in Seattle in the late 1990s by some bike messengers who had some downtime, and it evolved into the sport we have today, which is now worldwide.
So exactly who invented this nutty sport anyway?
The rumor is that it started during the British occupation in India. Some of the officers of their military who played horse polo back home and didn't have access to their horses, so they wanted to keep their skill up, and they started playing polo on bikes, on grass.
I always thought it was some kind of hipster urban thing.
In the last 5-6 years, it's really grown into where there's an industry where they have companies specifically making this equipment.
Wow.
But it's really gone from a sort of a DIY, sort of a little bit, if you will, a hipster thing to becoming kind of legitimized, really. There's a national tournament, a world tournament.
Wow, so this is the real deal. So what's a regulation court look like?
There is grass polo. This is actually hard court bike polo. Indiana has a lot of tennis courts and basketball courts. We made it out of a derelict tennis court.
The official bike polo ball is adapted from street hockey.
This is an official bike polo mallet. This head is made by a company called Fixcraft, and they do a lot of bike polo equipment. There's no official safety rules except you must wear a helmet. But other than that, you can wear whatever protective equipment you like or don't.
So if I get out there, can I wear like a hockey goalie in the NHL?
Yes, you could.
The game is 3-on-3 with no set goalie. First team to score 5 goals is the winner.
Bike-to-bike contact is allowed, person-to-person contact within reason is allowed, and then stick-to-stick.
Yeah! I love it.
Enough talking. I'm ready to take a swing. What do you say, Neil?
There you go. There you go.
Here we go.
Get your helmet.
Thanks.
Why is he laughing? The game involves constant motion and quick bursts of speed. It's a workout, but an absolute blast. But don't turn too tight or...
Oh, you all right? That's the money shot. It's all good. Good snap.
And then, rookie redemption.
Oh! That was like highlight reel. Nice. Nice game, man. Nice game. Nice game.
That was a seriously great time.
Good game, yeah.
Scrapes and all. Neil and the Indianapolis Bike Polo crew are good people. I highly recommend giving this a go. Well, as a hometown kid, I may be a bit biased, but from fantastic biking trails to big-time cycling advocacy and businesses that engage the bike community and beyond, Indianapolis continues to stand out as a legitimate bike-friendly town.